clear to play. MiniWarGaming's Beat the Cooler Bat Rap!
Hey there, MiniWarGamers. Owen here from MiniWarGaming with Patrick.
Hey.
Play a game of Warhammer 40k.
Here we go again.
Sisters of Battle. I'm bringing vanilla Space Marines, and we're playing 1500 points. So we're going to roll off to see what kind of game type we're playing in the deployment, and stay tuned for that. Here is my 1500 point Space Marine army. We've got Khaaaaaaan on a bike, bunch of Space Marine bikers, 2 Melta guns, and a multi-Melta attack bike. Exact same thing. Oh, and a power fist. There we go. Exact same thing in this unit. 3 Predators. All of them have twin-linked las cannons with las cannon side sponsons, and 3 land speeders with assault cannons and twin-linked missile launchers. There we go.
And
yeah, call them out.
I'm just gonna do this one. So we have 4 Battle Sister troops, 2 Meltas, Heavy Flamer, Meltas, Heavy Flamer. So 40 troops. We're gonna see what our, well, no longer assault squad, our shooting squad is now. Our 2, what is it, 8-man Seraphim squads with eviscerators for their sergeants. We got Saint Celestine in all her glory of 2+, 4+. We have a Lucky Charm, my Inquisitor. See if he can do anything today. And we have 3 Exorcist tanks.
There you go, 1500. And so, here we are deployed. Pretty simple terrain here. Everyone's hiding behind whatever they can. There are 5 flags. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And other than that, we're going to do Line Breaker and Slay the Warlord and First Blood. Sisters have first turn as it stands, but I am going to steal the initiative right now.
It's a May. It's a May.
Okay, maybe not. And, oh, we got to roll for night fighting. 4+. Nope, no night fighting. There we go. So, Sisters turn 1. And we start off with Sisters turn 1. First off, he slightly moves one of his tanks just to get a little bit of a better shot, and then starts moving up all of the Sisters themselves, slowly creeping up across the board, just to get in better firing positions, because he knows that I'm going to come to him, but he's got to find out how he wants to set this up. So he moves through difficult terrain with the other unit, and they hide out inside of their little crater there. Not going to be in range this turn, but at least they'll have some kind of save if I start firing away with las cannons. Well, except for the fact that all Sisters have a 6-up invuln. So they'll have that if I shoot him with anything else. But now he moves up, captures another objective, or at least is holding another objective. If it comes down to points at the end. But anyway, he's holding that right there. And then the other Sisters, they just kind of advance up, not moving into either terrain, just to have more bodies on the field, because that's really what he went for this game, is that he just wanted to have as many models as he could get wandering around. The next tank, once again, adjusting just a little bit, get a better shot. And now he moves his Seraphim over to protect that one flank, because I do have another bike squad with Khaaaaaaan hanging out on that flank of the board. And then his last tank moves up a little bit further, and then the Seraphim squad that has Saint Celestine with them ends up moving up and going on the other side of that tank as well. And so they move over and take cover, or not even take cover, but just kind of get in position on that side. First off, firing off this tank. How many shots does he get? These 6 shots, aiming at my land speeders. He gets 6 shots, hitting on 3s, which he misses pretty badly there, but they are strength 8, so he needs like 2 pens. I have a 5-up cover save because I'm hanging out in the cover, but I fail both of them, and then he rolls the pens. Really should have done these one at a time, but so we ended up agreeing that he blew up the first one and then did the stunned to the next one, because if he had done it the other way, then the first one would have just survived. But we messed up and rode them both at the same time, and so I lose my first flyer, and the other flyer takes a stunned result and is down to 1 hull point. So basically it can't move and is only snap firing next turn. Fires the next one at my tank on the other side of the board. It gets 5 shots, hitting with 3, getting 1 glance, 1 pen, and I fail the glance, but I do also fail the pen. So weapon destroyed and a hull point. So on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it depends on which tank or which weapon is destroyed. Yeah, so he's down to 1 hull point, and he loses Bam. He loses one of his last cannons, the one on the far side there. And then fires the next tank at my last tank in the middle. 3 shots, 2 hits, 5s to glance, and nothing. So that's that. And then these girls in the middle, they run up another 5 inches heading up the board. They have meltas and flamethrowers and all kinds of stuff. Each of these squads does. So he'll have lots to protect himself once I get closer. These guys got a whole 1 inch to move, and they just kind of shuffle around. And the Seraphim also roll a 1, so they just kind of shuffle up a little bit. There we go. And that's about it. So here we go, moving into the Space Marine turn. The White Scars, the tank just moves. The next tank over also moves, or rather, the bikes move first, flying up the side of the board. Now they do have a multi-melta as well as a melta gun, and then the Sergeant has a power fist. So they fly up, and then I do have to do some difficult terrain, or dangerous terrain rather, for that little crater there. And they all pass. So no dangerous terrain for me. And then this tank just kind of rotates. It did lose one of its weapons, but it's still alive and ready to go. Bikes on the far side of the board, they move up as well, with Khaaaaaaan hanging out in the front, because why not? And then these two, they also have to take a dangerous terrain because they left the crater. And so the first guy, both fails. 3+ save on both of them. First guy fails it on the vehicle, fails it. So I just rolled 4 1s in a row, lost a bike, and lost a wound on one of my other bikes, thanks to that hole in the ground. This land speeder can move. Unfortunately, the other one is stationary, like it's stunned, so he can't move, but it can shoot still, only snap firing. First tank fires at his tank, so the green one will be twin linked, and they both hit anyway. Now these are all las cannons, and I get 1 glance, which he'll have a 5-up cover save, which he fails. So he loses a hull point and is down to 2 hull points. The next tank fires at the next tank. The white one is twin linked, misses with one of its las cannons. Now I'm shooting him in the front, so I need 4s to glance, 1 pen, and +1 on whatever I roll. Well, first he's going to do his cover save, which he fails. Plus whatever I roll, which is a 3, so he can only snap fire and he can't move. And the next tank moves on to his next tank. Once again, the white one's going to be twin linked if it ever comes up. 4s to glance. 1, nope, nothing. No pens or glances on those las cannons. So moving up here, the 2 land speeders fire, and they miss. 5 to glance, nothing. So unfortunately, the land speeders don't hurt his tank. Now my bikes, they decide that they're going to flat out, so they move up another 12 inches, getting as close as they can, and to get that bonus cover save, because he's shooting Strength 8 AP3 rockets at my bikers. So the better cover save, coupled with the fact that we're getting closer to them, should kind of protect me against him shooting at me. Or at least I hope so. And so all my bikes take off, flying up as close as they can. Ta-da! And he's down to 1 wound, of course. So there we go. Now moving back into the Sisters' turn, this is turn 2 for the Sisters of Battle. The Seraphim jump to the far side of their tank, just to get in a better position to charge Khaaaaaaan and his unit. Now, before these units, the jump assault units with really short range weapons used to be an assault squad where you would run in, shoot them a whole bunch with pistols, and then charge them into melee. Now, unfortunately, thanks to all the recent updates and changes in the White Dwarf, they lost a lot of their abilities, and the biggest hit would be, well, they've lost one of their initiative, and so they're not quite as good at fighting in close combat as they used to be, especially because the average initiative is 4, so most people are going to be going before them. Now they're almost Space Marines in stat line, except for that they are not quite as strong, and they are not that tough. They've only got 3 and 3 for each of those stats. So you'll see later when he tries to charge in just how well they all do. So walking into the water with this unit, trying to get a little bit over to the side to help Celestine and her Seraphim over there. But they only rolled 2, so they just kind of shuffle around. He was trying to decide here whether he wanted to go after Khaaaaaaan and his unit or go after the tank with Celestine's unit. Decides to go after Khaaaaaaan because he figures that he'll be the bigger threat as they roam around with their rending power weapon as well as the meltas. So they all jump that way. How much we forgot last turn, but he rolls for faith every turn, and he gets to do tests based on how many models are in the unit plus if it has a squad leader. So he got his faith thing, so he can re-roll to hit, I believe, with his Seraphim this turn. So here goes the hand flamers. They get 2 wounds, and then they get to re-roll to wound thanks to their faith. That's it. So he gets 3. And 2 wounds with his pistols, and then re-rolling to wound with those. 3. So he does a total of like 6 wounds. I have a 3-up save, and I make them all. So I save every save. He fires a few pistols that are just barely in range, and they don't do anything. So that's that. A few more shots now coming from the next unit over. They have their bolt guns, wounding on 5s. 2 wounds, 3+. Saved it, and saved it. He then goes to shoot with his tank. Now remember, it is snap firing, so he gets his D6 shots. He gets 3, but then he needs 6s to hit, and unfortunately he misses all of those. The sisters on the far side shoot at my bikers. Here goes the bolt guns, and he gets 2 wounds, and the Meltas, 1 hit, 1 wound. And so here we go, 4+ from the going flat out, and then 3+ Space Marine saves. One of them dies, I lose one of my bikers. Next group, they get a few pot shots because they're a little bit further away. They get 2 hits, 5s to wound. They do get a wound, and I fail my save. So I take a wound on my attack bike, which is closest to them. He then fires his next tank at my tank in the center. 5 shot this time, hitting on 3s, and he gets 3 hits and 2 pens. I've got to make 2 5-up saves, and I don't make either. So he gets 2 of these. They're dice +2 because they are AP1, and it blows up my tank. So that is the end of that last cannon tank. Gets 4 rockets into my bikers on the other end of the board, hitting on 3s, 3 hits, and then wounding on 2s. Now it's AP1, actually. It's not AP3, my mistake. So he gets 3 wounds, and bam, I fail 1 save. Only 1 biker goes down thanks to their cover saves. He's then going to charge me, so I overwatch him with my my bolt guns. And these are twin linked, so I get 3 hits. And then I've got 3 Meltas in there, but they all miss. So wounding on 3s, I get 2 wounds. He's got a 3-up save, which he passes easily. He then charges, and he makes a huge charge, 9 inches. Everybody's getting in range. So he can easily make it. Everybody just kind of moving up and getting in base to base with one model or another. There we go. Once that last one gets in there. Now he's trying to decide whether he wants to move closer to Khan or the regular guys with his character, who has effectively a power fist. I did get counterattack, so they get to counterattack. Khan gets to go first, hitting on 3s. And he has a Mastercraft sword. He gets 3 hits. And he's strength 4, so he needs 3s to wound. Bam, bam, bam. Now the Seraphim have 6-up invulns. And they re-roll it for some reason. He never really would tell me why they got to re-roll it, but I just assumed it was a special rule. He just kept saying, don't ask, but it used to be better is what he would say. So that's fine. The bikers then move up because they are initiative 4. So they need 4s to hit and 3s to wound. They get tons of wounds, 5 wounds right there. 3 pluses though, and he only fails 1. So just 1 more sister goes down. His guys get to attack now, and they're on the charge. They're getting 3 attacks each, and they don't do anything. My power fist moves up. He's got his, well, we're going to do his power weapon first. 2 hits, 3s to wound, 2 wounds. And here goes my power fist, hitting on 4s, 2 hits, and wounding on 2s, 2 wounds. So he needs 6s. He makes 1 and re-roll, makes the other one. So that sucks. And for me, I take 2 wounds, so I lose both my attack bike and one of my other bikes. Now, I won combat by 1 because I did have more kills than him, but he passes his leadership. I do my hit and run ability though with Khaaaaaaan, so all I have to do is pass an initiative check, but he actually does the same thing, so he does an initiative check as well. And we had to roll off to see who got away faster, and it turns out that according to the rules, we roll off to see who runs away. That's what it says if we both have not counterattack, hit and run. So we rolled off and I had to run first, so my unit runs 8 inches and we just continue to head past his tank there. And thankfully I still have both of my Meltas, or at least one of my Meltas and I have both my Meltas and Khaaaaaaan, so they'll be okay. He then gets to move his Seraphim as well, and they jump right over in front of my bikes, kind of staying in my way so I can't just keep riding through there. And so the sisters line up. Now stay tuned for part 2 and see how this bat rep goes.